Awesome. Coach, quick opening statement, and we'll go with these guys.
Yeah, obviously disappointing. Coming off a loss, you never want to lose, but trying to focus on the positives here. I am extremely proud of the fight, and I'm extremely proud of the physicality that our football team played with for 4 quarters. We fought and battled, really put ourselves in a position there in the 4th quarter, and just a couple of plays away from perhaps having a different outcome. I really wanted to start first and foremost just defensively, man. The start of the game defensively and the start of the second half defensively, that's exactly what you're hoping for there. Obviously we held them to 3 field goals on the night. We knew it was the possessions were going to be at a premium. But at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of positives that we can draw from as we turn to really what's a 5-game season right now. We're back into MAC play for the remainder of the year here. And I think there's a lot of positives that we can bring from the other night as we move forward here. So that's our focus. Obviously excited to come back here at home. Being back home for first time after being on the road the last couple weeks, being homecoming, certainly that adds to it, and then also being a trophy game, the Battle of the Bronze Stalk, adds to it as well. But make no mistake, we got to have a great week of practice. Northern Illinois is a good football team. Coach Hammock does a great job preparing his guys. They're going to be tough. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play great defense. They've always done that, and we got to make sure it all starts with us having a great week of preparation.
You've talked in the past about just when it gets some action, like you never know. Anything could happen. It's always going to be close. How do you prepare for those situations?
I think the MAC, this conference forces you to be at your best week in, week out, because it's proven any given weekend that anybody can beat anybody. And, our focus is on us. What are the things that we can continue to build on that have been positives for us? What do we need to keep attacking to try to get better at? And so this is a great conference. It always has been. It always will be. Very good football played week in, week out. Comes down to a lot of situational football at times, whether it's, third downs, 2 minutes, red zones, whatever it may be. It's just a good conference and high-level football. A lot of outstanding coaches in this conference that you got a lot of respect for. And so I think for us, it just comes down to making sure, man, we got to have a great week of preparation first and foremost.
Obviously, I know you're solely focused right now on NIU, but just in this 5-game stretch, you've got some of the best teams in the MAC who you're playing against. What are some of the ways that you feel like you can keep focused rather than thinking about who's next?
Yeah, every team, as we all know, presents different challenges, but it still starts with us. No matter what, no matter who we play, it still starts with us. We got to come out and we got to execute and be the best version of us. That was the goal the other night. We knew it was going to be a street fight type of game. We knew, just like you talk about every week, we had to be great in terms of possessing the football on our end, and could we figure out a way to get one out or to get an interception and be +1 that way. It's got to be those things every week, and it's no different this week with Northern. And so even though every team has got something a little bit different they present in terms of scheme, it still starts with us, and that's going to be the focus, making sure that our guys are ready to go. You get to this point in the season, we played 7 games. Everybody's beat up to some degree. So what do we got to do on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, after practice to make sure our guys are getting whatever extra work they need to in the training room, recovery-wise, to make sure they're at full strength on Saturday, because nobody's going to feel great anymore. That's just part of it when you play the game and it's physical, and you're asking your guys to play a physical style and asking them, to play with that type of mentality for 4 quarters. Certainly they're going to be beat up, and we got to make sure part of the battle, too, is making sure we take care of them and get them back as best as we can for Saturday.
Even if you are coming off a loss, do you feel like the defense in particular is finally starting to find its confidence in its stride?
No question about it. Most complete game for us the other night. When you talk about 4 quarters, and again, I thought we're certainly getting better. It all starts with being able to stop the run and be good against the run. And I've seen significant improvement for our guys against the run. But the other night, when you talk about putting 4 quarters of football together, that was really our best performance of the year. Now, is there things we need to clean up? Yes. But there was adversity that hit. We didn't blink. We battled back from that. We got down into the red zone. Maybe they put a drive together, got down in the red zone, and then we forced them to go backwards, held them to field goal attempts. Those are all positives. And then, obviously battling and fighting. And when you come out of halftime, are you going to have the same going to have the same football being played as you were in the first half. And so for the defense to come out and set the tone in the second half there with a 3-and-out and then turn that into a nice drive where we scored a touchdown as well, I thought that was equally as important. So the start of the half, both the first half at the beginning of the game and then in the second half, I thought those were key moments for us that were certainly things to build on and were very positive. But without question, I thought defensively the performance from beginning to end most complete so far.
Yeah. I know that NIU, has struggled a little bit in MAC play, but they've obviously got that big win against Notre Dame earlier this year. What about them makes them a team that really can compete with anybody, even if it is those outside the MAC?
Yeah, first of all, they're going to want to run the football. They've always got to, every year we played Northern, they've always had a two-headed monster at running back plus a quarterback that can also run the football, and it's no different this year that way. They're playing as good a defense as anybody is in the MAC right now. They've been very consistent, sitting at the top in a lot of different categories that way. So you're going to get a team that has great discipline, is physical, is going to want to run the football and playing great defense. Those are great qualities when you talk about team football, and no matter where you're playing at. So it starts with that. We know it's going to be a challenge. They're coming off a home game there where it was a dogfight and a battle with Toledo that was a one-possession game. But they're coming to our place, and each team's going to be focused on the same things. And so yes, they had a great win for them against Notre Dame, but I think it's also credit to our conference that there's good football. And any given week, man, you got to make sure you're at your best in this conference because it's a great conference from top to bottom.
You talked about the defensive turnaround. What do you think really sparked that change?
Just continuing to believe and work. We had a lot of new faces to the defense from a player standpoint back when the year started at the change of the semester, if you will, and with some of the departures, whether it was graduation, transfer portal. So there's a lot of new faces. Obviously, there's a lot of new faces on the defensive staff. So it doesn't always come together as fast as you would like it to, but guys just kept grinding and working and believing and never pushing the panic button. Did we face two guys that are on the Heisman list as potential Heisman candidate contenders? Yes, but everybody plays a different type of non-conference schedule. I think it's just a credit to our guys, to our staff defensively, and to our players defensively. Just keep working. Just keep working. We're going to get better, and you see some of the progress and some of that starting to happen here over the last couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and then now the other night putting together what's our most complete performance so far.
How important has Jeff Knowles been in that culture?
He's just a steady guy. Jeff doesn't get too high or too low ever. He's just a steady guy. Keeps the same temperament. He's been in this conference before, back at Northern Illinois before they went to Temple. So he understands what it's like in this conference week in, week out. And, the good thing is a lot of the teams, a lot of the coaches that are in this conference, he's probably prepared for them before, back when he was at Northern or somewhere else. So I think it's just, his temperament and the way he carries himself is certainly very positive and been awesome that way.
And how's Ty Rob's recovery been? I know he's going to be out for a season.
Yeah, he sent a great message to me the other night to share with the team, just making sure he knew that he, tell the guys, I wish I could be there with you and to go out and battle. And so, obviously it's been hard. Still trying to, go through and decide what the next plan of attack is, whether it's surgery or whether it's just healing on its own. But, we're going to be there for Ty every step of the way and certainly help him through a difficult time.
And then for Baldwin as well, can we expect him to maybe be back?
Hopefully. Wasn't able to go this past weekend, so it's still day-to-day with him with this ankle. And so, hopefully we get him back on the practice field this week and keep him on the practice field. So, one thing, he's come back and he's tried to go and get a few snaps in on the practice field, and just whether it's confidence or still not quite feeling like he needs to in terms of change of direction that's required for that position. So we just keep working at it, and hopefully that we can get him back here.
And I think last 6 games for NIU has been a one-possession game at the end. Are you kind of preparing or expecting a close game here?
Yeah, obviously this conference, if you just look into it like we all have, that's just kind of, it's been, there's been more one-possession games probably in Mid-American Conference play than any conference, or if not any, then right up there at the top. So it's going to be a dogfight. We're preparing ourselves for a street fight, and knowing that we're going to have to be physical, and we're going to have to bring it for 4 quarters. We're going to have to play 60 minutes of football, and that's just kind of what this conference demands.
And I know you guys have other rivalry trophies as well, but I just feel like every year the guys really rally around the bronze talk. Do you feel that as well?
I do. I think any time that there's something a little more added to it, I think is always special, and you make it that way too when you're, preparing for an opponent, and you want to make sure they know the history of that trophy. They want to make sure and know, what's taken place when we played at home in that football game. So it certainly just adds to it, and I think our guys embrace that and really look forward to that.
All right, real good.
Thanks, guys.
Right back with Tanner and Brandon.
That's the only issue.
We'll start with Tanner.
It's tied up today.
Have a good day. Thanks.
What's going on, guys?
We'll start with Tanner, and we'll just open for questions. Kyle and Elijah.
I know that last year, Coach talked a lot about how when Brady went down and didn't play any of the year, it kind of took a while for the offense to find its identity.
Mm-hmm.
This year, the offense seems a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
What would you say this offense's identity is?
Honestly, whatever your job is asked you to get it done. We have guys all across the board that can make plays. We have every spot on the field that can make a play and is doing their job. And really, I wouldn't say the identity's in one position group or anyone on the team. Like, we just got guys everywhere that are doing their jobs.
Who has instilled that mentality in you guys?
Coach Elliott, he has instilled just whatever is asked of you, do your 1/11th and do it at a high level with high effort.
Yeah. And then also, do you feel like the offense has really stayed consistent? I know there's been some weeks where maybe performances haven't been up to your guys' standards, but do you feel like mostly it's been consistent?
I would say so, yeah. I think we have to focus on finishing drives. And, when we get into certain third downs that we have to convert, we got to convert on them.
And then against a team like Vanderbilt, where now they're the 25th ranked team in the nation,
Mm-hmm.
obviously a loss never feels good, but the fact that it was close and you were leading after the first quarter, are you coming out of that game feeling better than maybe a different loss?
I mean, there's no moral wins. We said that in our team meeting the other day, but there was definitely strengths that we showed that we haven't before, and there's things that we know we got to clean up. We have another game on film to watch and get better at, so that's really the gist of it.
What are some of those strengths that you maybe hadn't seen before?
Just playing complementary football. We actually struggle playing complementary football, but when it's really been the same strengths, like when we got to go the length of the field like we do it. Like, our 2 touchdowns came on a 75-yard drive and a 94-yard drive, and that's awesome to see, just stringing together drives. And when we could put that many plays together, like 8, 9 plays together, why not put 4 or 5 plays together when we're on the 50-yard line? Our defense gives us great field position.
I'm sure that you and Kyle have worked together for a while. I mean, you guys both been here for a while. How cool was it to see him score that touchdown, and have you talked with him about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, he embodies handling adversity. Whatever's asked of him, he does it. There's no pouting from him in the locker room. He's doing whatever's asked of him with his head held high. And no matter what his job is, he puts his best foot forward and he's doing it. And he's just an athlete. Like, with him having the ball in space, you know what he can do. And it was awesome seeing that happen, especially after seeing everything that he could do last year.
Yeah. Just in terms of being a football player, how tough is it to switch positions around and deal with that on and off the field adversity?
Well, it's one thing to go from offense to defense and turning the game completely around for you. It's one thing to go from quarterback to any other position. It's not like Brady went from quarterback to tight end, but it's very early, and Kyle was a quarterback for 2 years, 2.5 years of his career here, and that's a very tough position. But the athlete that he is, he's coming in at receiver, and he's doing a great job. Especially in practice, you can see him running routes becoming a lot more natural, and he's an athlete. Whatever's asked of him to do, he can do it.
Yeah. Do you think the versatility on display on this offense is maybe the offense's biggest strength?
Yeah, for sure.
The offense scored on obviously the first drive of each half. How do you think the offense can kind of learn from those 2 drives and continue that momentum throughout the whole game?
I think we just have to understand the importance. We say it all the time, appreciate one at a time. And those drives, it's each play, gnawing away 6 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 8 yards. Just gnawing away, we got to continue to buy in each and every play like it's its own play. That's the most important job I have right now, is that play, and doing that. You see those long drives strung together.
Are those first drives of the half usually scripted out more than others?
Normally at the beginning of the game, yes, but also it's a huge feel thing and calling plays, and the second half is adjustments, and throughout the whole game it's just whatever, it's the best play for that circumstance.
And then you've been in this NIU rivalry for a while. What kind of What does this rivalry mean to you?
It means a lot for me. I'm being from Illinois, being recruited by Northern Illinois, and them never believing in me was huge for me. Like, it was a school I wanted to go to. I thought I had a great chance to go to. I knew I could play there, and I met with Coach Hammock multiple times. I went on a bunch of junior days. I went to their camps and never got an offer. So it's kind of just a little chip on my shoulder for sure. Like, they didn't believe in me, but Coach Neu and this staff did. So I owe Coach Neu and them staff W's when we play them.
How much motivation does that give you?
It's a good amount, but I get most of my motivation just from playing with the guys I have and the staff here. Just wanting to play for them and wanting to win games for these guys. I don't really think about wanting to win the game to beat NIU. I think about wanting to win the game to win it for these guys.
Awesome. Brandon Berger, you're on.
Hey, Tanner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanner. You're welcome to hang out. Or I can start. Bingo. All right. I'll join you for a second.
I know the big theme of this season for the defense has been just trying to establish confidence and consistency. Do you feel like these past few games have been a step in the right direction to establish those things?
For sure. I mean, our defense has stepped up a lot these past 2 weeks, and we've seen what we're capable of. Playing last week against a pretty good opponent, so we just got to keep stacking games like that and carry that into these last 5 games against conference opponents for sure.
Has there been any particular person or thing that happened that has really sparked this consistency and confidence?
I don't think there's been anything too specific. I think it's just a matter of, we've had a lot of young guys and guys with injuries coming in. So, I mean, it's halfway through the season now. We've got guys gelling more than they have before, all season. And we're just starting to figure it out and really seeing what we're capable of. And as long as we keep stacking that and just going out there giving our best stuff every day, every rep that we get during the games, I think that we'll keep seeing these results on defense that we have so far.
Yeah, and obviously, you've played in this conference for a while. Does it feel different when you get a MAC win versus a non-conference win?
For sure. I mean, the MAC wins are the ones that count, and they're going to get us to the big game at the end of the day. So those MAC games are definitely, a little more attention paid to those, and just it feels a lot better when we get those wins. We know those are the guys that we're competing with to try to go get that championship at the end of the season. So I would say, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you've been on these teams that have beaten Northern Illinois before. Given the fact that it is a trophy game, do those mean even a little bit more?
Yeah, the trophy games, I mean, it's always an awesome atmosphere just all around Muncie, and then especially here in the football facility in the locker room. We can go put that trophy out there in the lobby after the win and just take that in all week. It's a great feeling getting the trophies after any of those rivalry games. So
yeah, how do you in your preparation leading up to this week's game, given the fact that it is a trophy game, it's a MAC game, and it's homecoming, how do you kind of keep all those in mind as motivators, but also go about this week like normal?
Mm-hmm. Like you said, you got to keep it, keep your process the same and just prepare the same way that we have. But just you got to have that in mind as well. It does mean a little bit more than usual. So when you go out there on game day, you just got to be ready and just chase that feeling of grabbing that trophy after the game and celebrating with all your teammates, celebrating all the hard work that we put in all week. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mike talked about how steady Coach Knowles has been. How has his leadership kind of rubbed off on the defense so far this year?
Coach Knowles, he's been great. He's always been putting us in a great position to go out there and play the most, as hard as we can without it being too crazy of a game plan or anything like that. But yeah, he's putting us in positions to be successful every game and just go out there and play fast and play with our hair on fire. So it's been great.
And that defensive front has really improved the last couple of games. Have you felt that as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, all the guys, we're starting to gel a little bit more and get that chemistry with each other up front, and we got guys rotating in and out. But it's been great to see how we've stepped up and getting to the quarterback and stuff and stopping the run these past few weeks. It's been good.
What's that energy like when the line is consistently getting to the quarterback and causing pressures?
That's what we feed off of. That's what we need each game. It starts with us up front, and it starts with us up front in the offense too. It's just how it is. The trenches, the game kind of runs through the trenches. So when we can see our D-line dominating like that and just stopping the run, just getting the quarterback down for loss of yards, it's always a great way to start drives and just give huge energy boost to the whole sideline, the whole team, and all that. So.
Do you remember the specific feeling that came the last time you guys beat Northern Illinois and got to celebrate with the trophy?
I don't remember the specific feeling, honestly. I know we've won 4 out of the last 5, but Yeah.
this year on the road.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's great. It's always been a little bit a little chippy. I feel like there's a little extra. You know, there's been some celebrations in the past that we remember for sure and stuff like that. So, you know, it always definitely does get a little chippy, and that's usually how it is for all these trophy games. It's always just a little extra. You know, a little bit extra when whatever team wins. So.
Yeah. Can we expect broken chairs, cut foreheads, anything like that?
I'm sure there'll be some sort of crazy post game celebration once we get that bronze stalk back in the locker room after the game.
Yeah.
Good note to end on.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Awesome. Appreciate it.